So welcome to Doing Stuff Outdoors. And what are we doing today? Yeah, we're going to start a project. Here a few weeks ago I published a video called Changes Are Needed. It's going to be a part of my log cutting table series. We kind of disassembled our old log cutting process table and kind of put it back together in a makeshift way just to see how we would like just having the table itself and cutting rounds off of that table, putting them into the dump trailer, and then me and my wife can split out of the back of the dump trailer. You know, I can take the rounds out of the back of the dump trailer, put them on the splitter, split them, and then she can stack them in some of our custom wood racks. So I think we both agree that we like that idea, and now I'm going to start that process. I want to make that log table one solid piece. I'm going to try to use as much of the lumber out of the old setup as I possibly can. And so today's the day, and let me show you what I got going on that we're starting this project. But these were the older pieces. Like I said, we would actually cut on the log cutting table the way that it used to be, and we would roll them off. This trough would set down to the side, and it's taken a beating. I would put logs on the log cutting table, and if it was a bigger one, I had one roll off one day and it hit right here and broke that out because I previously sawed a log in this thing before, thinking I could do it without cutting through that board. Well, I kind of cut through that board a little bit. But I'm going to try to salvage as much as the 2x10 lumber out of this, and then the 6x6 post. This actually used to be an old deck, so I'm going to salvage the 6x6 post that I made. The current log cutting table portion that I'm still using, it's just a little bit high, so I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter. It's not too bad of a height right now. When I made the first setup, my log cutting table ended up a little high because I wanted this part to be where we could roll the rounds down it without having to bend over. Well, I made the log cutting portion a little bit high, so I'm going to fix that. But anyway, let me set you all up, see how far I get along on this today in the disassembly process. I try to save as many of the screws as I can too. Been thinking about this for a while. I got a design pretty much in my head. Had a screw break off. It was amazing how you overbuild stuff sometimes. We're going to reuse that piece anyways. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I've kind of had an idea here, is that this board broke off, so I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to take one of those that I just took off a minute ago and put back in its place. Then I'm going to put some ends on it. I've kind of come to the conclusion I'm just going to screw these two together, reposition some of the legs, and then beef up my support in between here, which I really don't feel like I need to, because I'm going to be putting 4x4s on top of it. So I'm going to start working on getting this replaced first. These sides are in pretty good shape. I'm going to have to do some repair on them and stuff, and I'm going to take off this center leg here. You'll see what I'm going to do, hopefully. I could change my mind. is done. So now, I'm going to slide these two together. Like so. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be close. So I'm just going to put some screws in it to kind of hold it together for right now. Like I said, I'm going to bolt these two together. Lag screw it, bolt it, something. There we go. "54 inches. "54 inches. So I went ahead and got my handboards cut, 54 inches. I'll get those put up there. Put a few screws in them. Gotta tie it all in. Like I said, I'll get lag screws and stuff to putting these ends on just more looks better. It's going to look better. Didn't mean to do that. Said this is not fine finished carpenter work. It's just my prototype. There we go. All right, that's good enough right now. My wood business continues to grow. I'll have to show you all how I build my custom wood racks. Well, I have to square this end up down here. It's this leg is kind of bowed out. I have to fix it up. So this should be approximately 10 foot 3. 10 foot, 1, 2, 3. How about that? 10 foot 3. So 61 and a half should be the middle. 61 and a half should be the middle. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. 61 and a half. Now, since my pallet forks I got them set up specifically for my wood rack, I'm going to put some boards on the underneath side of this, so when I come in with my pallet forks, I have something kind of solid to lift on to move this thing around. This is where I usually have my forks. So center on center. So I'm measuring on the outside of that one to the inside of this one. Center on center would be about 33 and a half. 33 and a half. So 33 and a half. I'm going to just make it 33. So half of 33 would be 15, 16 and a half. 16 and a half. And then another quarter. So 16 and 3/4. 16 and 3/4. That should equal 33 and a half. Ooh, doggy. I didn't have to take my shoes off to count that. So we'll do the same. Do the same thing from here. 16 and 3/4. 16 and 3/4. I'm going to see if I can find my speed square. Good enough. Okay, sweetie. Thank you. I'm glad that's over. All right. So I got those installed in there. I'm going to screw them on there a little bit better. So the tines on my pallet forks are 48 inches. So this is, when I get done with this, I'm going to have a little overhang on one side as well. Because I'm going to make this a total of 6 foot wide for cutting depth. I think that's going to be about the right size. 8 foot's just too much as far as width goes. But I put these on here because the tines are only 4 to 8 inches long. Well, by the time I get 6 foot, it would be kind of teetering. So that's why I'm doing this. That way the paddle forks will have a nice place to set. But let's try it out. So, this is why I put these boards underneath here. Since right now the frame of this is only about 54 inches long, since the frame's only about 54 inches wide, I'm going to have a foot of overhang on one side of this table for my cutting side, and then the other side it'll just be the edge of it will be right here flush, but one side's going to have 4x4s on top sticking out here to give me a little bit more room to kick stuff underneath there out of my way as I'm cutting. But so it'll be pretty close to 6 feet wide by the time I get that done. And again, I'll start doing that in a later video. But that way when I pick it up with the paddle forks, it's got solid support. It won't tip down. The tip of the fork won't go up in here against the bottom of it. So that's kind of why I did that. And I'm going to put I think I got some scrap 2x4s to put on here for guides and stuff. But yeah, I got a lot more done on this than I thought. But that's where we're at. If you made it along this far, we really appreciate you watching. I hope you come back and watch the rest of the build of this log cutting table. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe. Really helps out our channel. Share it with your friends, and have a super fantastic day.